If this is what it took, I'm glad it happened. If the events of late 2020 were the final straw that caused the states to finally stand up and assert their constitutional authority, I'm glad it happened. In the evenings, I stream on Twitch at about 9:45, 10 o'clock till about midnight. And over the last few months, I had been having a conversation with one of my followers there from Montana, who would continually ask me, aren't you afraid Biden-Harris is going to do this? Or aren't you afraid Biden-Harris is going to do that? I'm like, no. It doesn't matter what they say to me. It doesn't matter what they say to me. They have no power. They have no real power. And he kept saying, well, just wait, just wait, just wait. And we have. 4 states in the union have all but banned abortion. South Carolina, Arkansas, Missouri, and now Oklahoma. Missouri has stood up its militia. Florida has sued the federal government. Texas has lifted all of its mandates. Tennessee's governor said that he's not even going to renew any of the orders. He's going to take away the power of localities to require masks. The legislature in Kansas is ready to override the veto of their Democratic governor and put forth good conservative legislation. And the stories continue to pile up. And it proves that this feckless, doddering old fool in D.C. has no power. It is the man behind the curtain, and it has always been. Now, why have so many worried for so long about it? Well, simply, they do kind of have an army, but it's a powerless one unless you give them power. It's their army of Karens. And in today's video, I'm going to provide the information you need to defeat them. It's real simple. It's a 3-step process. You just have to turn some of their old sayings over the years back on them. This is Judith McNaught. You can't live your life to suit other people. The harder you try, the more restrictions they'll put on you just for the fun of seeing you jump through their hoops. See, everything's been flipped and turned upside down. For years and years and years, it was the Democratic left that was saying it was the conservative right trying to control them, trying to restrict them, trying to, put a leash on this, that, or the other. Well, now it's the other way around, isn't it? And we can look at a lot of people on the left who had decried this, and we can quote them. Like, for example, Oprah Winfrey, you are responsible for your life. You can't keep blaming somebody else for your dysfunction. Life is really about moving on. Life is about moving on. Karens can be defeated. It's very simple. And all of you out there who've already been in the military will understand this concept perfectly. Some of you who haven't, I'm sure it won't be very hard for you to come up to speed on it. When you're in the military, these are the first Karens you encounter. Now, they're Karens with a purpose. They will yell and scream at you over all sorts of little nonsense. Now, they have a purpose to what they're doing. They're seeing how you handle stress. YouTube is full of videos just like this where they show some poor new soldier, getting what they call a shark attack. Now, you see here how the guy is gritting his teeth and he's squinting his eyes and he's making a face? You see, that's what the real Karens want. That's what they live off of. That's what they thrive on. The goal in the military is to get you to the point of this female soldier here. Serene, calm, no expression on the face, eyes straight ahead, taking in information, reacting when appropriate and necessary, not reacting when not appropriate. This is the key. New soldier, trained soldier. New soldier, trained soldier. This is what you have to do. This is step one. Step one really is avoiding Karens if at all possible, but when confronted with Karens, remain serene. Remain calm. Do not take it as an occasion to argue or defeat. Because what they're seeking is simply the conflict. They don't seek to win the conflict. That's like the cherry on the sundae, if they do, getting you to acquiesce or getting you to do something. They are just seeking conflict. And that goes to an internal mechanism that's messed up inside them. Defeating them means just ignoring them. See, in the military, they have a purpose here. Doing all this stuff, it's designed to make you fail. It's designed to make you crack. They want to see where your limit is and then move it out farther so that when you get into combat, you can handle stress, unfair situations. But remember, no response is a response, and it is, to my mind, the most powerful one you can have. Now, what does this have to do with anything? Remember, the Karens are the government robot army. When you can defeat the Karens of the world, you're really defeating the MSM, you're defeating DC, you're defeating their mandates, because we know for a fact that they don't have any real power unless you give it to them, unless you acquiesce. There was a movie out some years ago. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. It was Fight Club. This is Helena Bonham Carter. And there was a scene in it that was perfect for illustrating this point. Her and the male character, I'm trying to remember his name right now, Edward Norton, I think it was, were having a discussion over the support groups. They were going to split up. You know, they were going to all these support groups and they just didn't want to see each other. And so at the end of the conversation, he says, okay, well, I guess we've got this figured out. Let's not make a big thing of this. And she looks at him just deadpan and says, how's this for not making a big thing of it? And just walks away. The character was Marla Singer, I think. Singer, something like that. And, you know, the entire movie was centered around one part of this guy trying to let go of controlling everything around him. See, this was the original movie that dealt with this. These control freaks. But when you take that chain up to where it's coming from the government. They use these control freak types to do their bidding. Sometimes they don't even know. That's why I refer to them as a robot army. That they're really being used. These Karens are just witless, idiot pawns that people acquiesce to just for ease. And if it doesn't change anything, it doesn't change your life, avoid them. I would never counsel anyone acquiesce out of fear of a Karen. But you can also take them to task. And you can turn it around on them, and that's kind of the level 3. Level 1 was, of course, avoid. Level 2, ignore. Level 3, and this is only for people who have a command of their mind, you can kind of turn things around on them. You can accuse them of persecuting you because you are a historically marginalized minority. Now, it doesn't matter whether you are a historically marginalized minority or not. All you have to do is claim the status. For example, if you were not wearing a face diaper, someplace that they want you to wear one. Now, if it's someone acting in authority over the business, perhaps you should probably just not frequent that business. But if it's another customer, just pretend you're part of some minority and calmly say, why are you persecuting me because of this minority status that you may or may not have? They don't know one way or the other. See what you did there? See, they thought they were doing good when in essence they were really just being witless pawns, and now you can kind of get inside their head. That's only if you have a very, very good command of your emotions. Never get upset. Never be reactive to what they're saying. Don't even acknowledge what they're saying as if it's worth anything, which is why I'm not watching what's going on tonight. I don't really care what the feckless idiot in DC has to say. It doesn't affect Floridians. And to leave the video here, the guy that I spoke of said, after talking to you for a couple of months on Twitch, I really now feel like I'm more a Montanan than I am a U.S. citizen. And I'm like, that's the best news ever. That's the best news ever. When we become Tennesseans, Floridians, Texans, Oklahomans again, that will be the solution. That will be the fix. Everybody asks, how are we going to fix all of this rioting? Or how are we going to fix all of this problem? And our country seems to be falling apart. Good. Good. Wonderful. Fantastic. Excellent news. Each state deals with it its own way. Montana deals with its problems. Tennessee, Florida, even Michigan. That's why I've counseled people, get out of there. Get out of there. And I tell you what, guys, if it was up to me, and it is, for me, I would live in my car and dig ditches, work 7 days a week in Florida before I would take a house and a 9-to-5 job with benefits anywhere in the north. Because you can't, what you're looking at on your screen, you can't buy this. You can't replace it. This is a sunrise jog down the beach in the Panhandle. Because no matter what, you can always, in Florida, walk down to the seashore and sit in the sand and watch the waves come in. And there's no amount of money in the world that can replace this. The peace, the serenity. I mean, we have stresses down here in Florida. We have things that we have to get done and life catches up with us, but we always have this. We have it on one coast. We have it on another coast. And this seems to fix a lot. And that's why I believe Florida has led the way, because we have people that have remained serene. People that have remained calm in the face of adversity. And that's really, really the goal. We do not live our lives to suit other people. Hence the Florida Man meme. Like, share, subscribe. God bless, and we will see you next time.